thank you also, Yves. And we have a few minutes for some questions.
Hi, guys. Thank you for the presentations. I would like to know about the cost of that outdoors facilities, workstations that you had, because it's something that we are not used to, well, we don't do in Brazil. So if you could describe a little bit about those workstations or BIM kiosks that someone was mentioning. Yeah.
Yes, it really depends on, we build our own. So then there's the costs of a screen and a computer, and then this housing. So that's not that, let's say not that expensive. And you can order like that what he showed. This is like a product that you can order. And this product, it's like, it costs around, what was it, I guess, 16,000 euros for one. That's...
Yep. I imagine if you just measure the time spent walking around to look for information, you will pay for it. But anyway, okay. Yeah, please.
Yeah, Jim Bedrick from Strategic Building Innovation. Yves, I'd like to hear more, I'd really like to hear more about how you check those outside models for quality.
Yeah. Let's say it like this. We define what information do we need. So one thing is we check the information that we need. But we do not check like geometrical things, because also when we look at the let's say the normal process with the drawings, we never as an execution company, you're never asking if the drawings are right that you get from the planners. So you just do what you get, and we do the same with the models. So the planner gives us the models, so we think, or we have to think that the models are correct when we get them. And we only check if the informations are there or not. But yeah, that's all what we do.
Okay. Hi, my name is Simge Girgin, a PhD student here at CIFE, and my question is for Lupo, so related to VR implementations. I was wondering, so we see a really good VR-based design reviews in the project-based. I was wondering if there's any standardized applications in the company level in Implenia, and how are you considering standardization?
They are some tools we took a standard for Implenia. About VR, we have not actually defined which one we want to take. We are testing some and choose that what is the best for us. So, but in the case when we are hired by someone and they are defined, you need to use these tools, we use their tools. So.
Regarding the...
name?
Yeah. Sujesh. Yeah. Sorry,
name and company, sorry.
Yeah, I missed your name of my company?
Your name and your company,
okay.
Where you're from.
Yeah,
just to give a little context, you know.
Sujesh from the UK, working with the Norwegians. So, with the information and the models, what type of information were you missing from the designers?
Which we are missing.
Yeah. So,
normally, we order some informations. We are the documents, we are element plans where we do order which information we need. So when we need more, we order more informations. But honestly, a good planner will bring by themselves enough informations to a model, because I don't see a real big difference between 2D planning and 3D planning. I order information so that I am able to build this object, So I need the same information also in a BIM model.
Yeah, but I jump in. It's something that is missing. It's because of the models are not really buildable at the moment on the market, and then are things missing like what's the surface of this wall, what are what the rebar numbers are on this rebar if you have rebar models. Yeah. So this kind of informations are missing normally, and yeah.
Do you think that's a consequence of the procurement method?
Yeah, maybe, but I guess it's also a consequence because it's new and the people do not know what they have to do. And if you talk with the architect and you tell him at the beginning you need this information more in your model, then he will say, okay, you have to pay me more because I have more work to do. And then I say, yeah, but you don't have to do plans anymore, so you will save there. Will you give me money back for that or write less hours? No, but that's discussion that you have all the time. So I guess it's because they do not know it better at the moment.
Okay, there's a question over there.
Hi, I'm Aaron Anderson from Swinnerton. We're a general contractor. I'm really interested in this conversation. It's coming from a bunch of different angles. Luco, you talked about the Think Project common data environment, and we're kind of discussing this difference between like physical written descriptions of projects and then the plans. Are you seeing any ways, or do you see a way to connect these written instructions, specifications, these kinds of things, like in the digital format in the common data environment? Like, can we connect geometry to the PDFs and the submittals and all these other things that are in our common data environments? As you know, I guess it's kind of a question for all of you up there. Is that a path forward to make it economical and to make it clear?
So if it's economical, I think this is economical because the data are connected together in maybe one platform or two. Yes, of course, there are different tools that we need, that we use. But we need to have one central database. Actually, the market is not so ready. Not all companies have their own databases. In my opinion, I will suggest that the companies has a maturity in a level that they can handle their data by themselves and just create some APIs to the different tools.
Any thoughts from Norway on this question?
Well, if I understand the question correctly, it's about connecting non-model data to the geometry. It's not something I have personal experience with, but that's definitely one of the things we're struggling with in Norway at the moment as well. And I've seen some examples of tools that start to do this, because at least for us, we have to deliver a lot of documentation with a project on handover that's not model-based at all. And the operators of the buildings are often struggling to use the model because the documentation that they need and use is not connected to the geometry in any way. Like I said, I've seen some tools that start to do this, third-party solutions, but I don't think I'm the right person to assess whether it's viable or not. The technical side of that is not my specialty.
But maybe there's people in the audience that can also have a conversation with Aaron on this.
Definitely.
I had a question for Henrik. It was really nice to see the implementation in smaller projects, of which there are many around the world. And I really liked the recommendations you had at the end. Are they your recommendations? Were they developed by the whole company? and therefore shared very quickly? Or do you now have the struggle of convincing the other 69 people in the company that those are good recommendations?
I think it's many of us that has these recommendations, so we work together in the company. So at least the project managers are with me on these recommendations. But as you say, when we are about 70 people working together, trying to work this out, it's not the easiest way all the time because someone don't like to look at new things to do. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a combination of.
Yeah, sounds like a bit.
But I have a good CEO that owns this together with me, so I guess that's a good start then.
Yeah. Okay. Luis, well, you should introduce yourself. So.
Yep. Okay. This is Luis Clavijo from Colombia. I would like to know about the VIA acronym, in which visualization, as all we know, it's working on. But information integration and automation, how would you guys think, or what are you doing to get this non-graphical information, even though it's not in a geometrical object, to fly over the whole life cycle between design, planning, and construction processes, like Lupo showed about his softwares, and if you can leverage that from automation, what are you doing with automation to get the right integrated information, even though it's not on geometrical objects, sort of?
Yeah, what we did, it's like we checked the official IFs. I guess I have to say something in that one. So in Switzerland, I would say 95% are OpenBIM, so IFC based. So you don't get native formats with the information in them. So you get IFC. And there is a IFC standard from Building Smart. So they defined that. And we did like, the idea is if the planners or the modelers did the model right, then we automate creating a P-set for us, which take all the information that we need, like material, like square meters and everything, and put it in our own P-set. And on this P-set, we have an automation that when we put this in the calculation tool, then the calculation, will go to this information, and then they will put it in the right position for the calculation. So that's the idea. In real world, it's like this, that the model do not have the information on the right place. And that's why we try to up-inform them. But then it's still a risk on our side because we did something and we didn't know if this is really right. So that's something that we have all the time. That's a big discussion all the time. When we change something that we get and something bad happens, who's responsible for that? Are we in charge, or is it the planner, or what will happen? So that's why we use it just for the calculation and not for the execution, because execution is more dangerous, I would say.
Yeah, talking about like snagging in construction process, it would be helpful to get all the information, at least structured, and like a digital twin, stick to geometrical objects.
This is Tomislav Žigo-Kliko out of Chicago, design builder. Question for the panel. I really enjoyed previous sessions as well regarding concurrent engineering, and all of you were talking about challenges coming from design models. Considering that you're all somehow vertically integrating design builders, did you ever find the benefit of working in a kind of design assist mode with the fabricator, delivering those models and getting construction quality model out of the get-go in your process?
Are you talking about prefabrication?
No. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm talking about substituting an engineering model and getting straight to the fabrication model with a subcontractor and bring them early on in the design process in order to accelerate this and eliminate a handover and data loss.
So that has been used quite successfully on quite a few projects, at least in the US, to go very rapidly to the fabrication level model, and the engineered and the verified at the fabrication level. Either engineers makes it or the fabricator makes it, and then engineer reviews and approves instead of the still very sequential process that we have traditionally.
Yeah, to be honest, we'd never done that in Switzerland. I do not know that they had a project in Switzerland like this. So that's why we want to do this new, let's say, these new methods, try these new methods like design build or IPT, that we are at the beginning with the designer in the same boat and at the beginning of the project, so we can talk with them and then we can decide, and at the beginning we can define what we need, and then we get what we need at the end. So that's why we try to focus on these new methods. Yeah.
So let's have one more comment from Christian.
Yep, I can jump in on that as well. We've tried doing that for a few specific subcontractors, typically the facade, glass, aluminium facade, and some steel constructions, and it's been very successful in the times we've tried it. It's been a very efficient way to get the work done. But what we mainly struggle with in those cases is that the people doing the modeling job and enriching the models with information at the subcontractors are not as advanced as our engineers and our architects. So we struggle, and we have to spend a lot of time to make sure the models that we get from the subcontractors have the information that we require. So that's been a challenge, but it's getting better, I think.
All right. One of the key phrases for me to take away is master the interfaces, and I think we ended on that theme. So thank you to the speakers in this session.